had a few thoughts to share with you. We began our study, as Linda had said, of the story last Wednesday, renewing it from last year. And it contains, what the story is, if you're not familiar with it, is it's a book, and it contains portions of Scripture put into chronological order to make the Bible more understandable as a continuous story. So last Wednesday, we began our focus on David. David was the shepherd king, and he became the shepherd king, but when he started, he was a young man tending his sheep in the fields, and he was the youngest of 8 sons, and he was not even thought important enough to be brought before Samuel when God told Samuel to go to Jesse's house to anoint a king. But God saw David's potential, and he saw his heart. So studying and learning more about these Bible characters, it just brings home once again that God works with people who think they have their life path all mapped out, and God has other plans, bigger plans than they could ever envision. You think about Abram, who then became Abraham. Abram was 75 years old when God told him to leave Haran and go to an unknown land, a land God would show him, which to me would be pretty scary. Well, I do not claim to have much in common with the great leadership of David and Abraham. Not at all, actually. But I can relate to an abrupt change in my life path that I had not envisioned, just as David thought he would be a shepherd, and Abram, at age 75, thought he was settled and living a good life in Haran. At age 66, my age, to start a new job in which I am in charge of the program, the room, the library, building up a collection of books, impacting and influencing children to aspire to a lifetime of loving to read, is frightening, overwhelming, and exciting and exhilarating all at the same time. And I'm just so humbled that God gave me this job at this time and at this age. The last month, I've heard of more of my friends and acquaintances retiring, and though there are momentary or maybe more than momentary feelings of envy, yet I return to the unbelievable fact that in 15 days' time, I went from losing a full-time job to accepting a position where I work with children, books, and I get to plan it myself. And when I stop and consider it, which is often, I am still astounded at God's leading. So in the videos that we watch before our discussion each Wednesday night, the reader in the video ends with, "This is your story. This is my story. This is God's story." I can relate, and you should too, because God is writing each of our stories. And so I just want to give you a heads up. Be prepared for an adventure, even at age 66.